Hello everybody, Sorlian here, and we're in the exam season, and in this video we will be looking at enlargement. So let's head straight into what exactly is an enlargement. So we talk about enlargement, and enlargement refers to a transformation that changes the size of a geometric figure while preserving its shape. So the shape will either turn larger or to turn smaller, but the shape of the chain, but its shape would not change. So there are two things that we need to perform an enlargement, and those two requirements are: one, you need a center of enlargement, and two, you need a scale factor. The scale factor determines how large or how small the shape will become, and the center of enlargement determines from where this change will happen from. So let's head straight into our first example. So the question says, a triangle and its image is shown below. Determine the coordinates of the center of enlargement. So now we look at how we can find the center of enlargement. So we have this shape here, and we see it transformed into this shape. It became larger. The shape of it still remains the same, but it just became larger. So let's look at how we can go about finding the center of enlargement. So what we do, we take the corresponding points on the shape. These two are corresponding points, and these two are corresponding points. So what we do, we extend the line from the image to the object through the corresponding points. We draw a line through here, a straight line, and then we go to the other corresponding point, and we do the same thing. We extend the line through the corresponding points. And then we repeat for the last point. We draw a straight line through the corresponding points. And here we see an intersection. Now that intersection where all of these straight lines intersect, that is where the center of enlargement is located. So in this case, we see the center of enlargement is located here. So we see this point would be, we go one across. So it would be 1, and we go 1, 2, 3, 5 up. So the center of enlargement for this shape would be at the point 1, 5. And that is how we find the center of enlargement. We just draw a straight line through the corresponding edges, through the corresponding points, and at the intersection, that is where the enlargement happens. That is the center of enlargement, as easy as that. So let's head into another example. See, the other example says, describe the single transformation which takes shape A onto shape B. Now this is where CXC will ask you questions like these. It will ask you to describe the transformation that happens. So whenever you're describing a transformation, there are some key things you must include. You must include the type of transformation that happens, whether it's a enlargement, a rotation, a reflection, or a translation. That is one. And then you have to, based on the type of transformation, you will state the key things that takes a shape from the object to the image. In this case, we can clearly see that an enlargement is happening here. So earlier in the video, we talked about two key things that must be in place for an enlargement to happen. One, the scale factor, and two, the center of enlargement. So you must first find the center of enlargement and also find the scale factor. So let's find the center of enlargement. We already know to find that. So you can draw a line through the corresponding points. So we see these two are corresponding, and we see these two are corresponding, and we see these two are corresponding, and lastly, we see these two are corresponding. So we already see the center of enlargement here would be at the origin, 0, 0. So let's just conform that with this last one. So we see the center of enlargement is at 0, 0. So the center of enlargement is at 0, 0, or we can say the origin. And next, we also know it's an enlargement, so I'll say that, so it's an enlargement. And the next thing we want is the scale factor. Let's erase these lines. So the scale factor is how large or how small the shape became. So we will take some corresponding sides now to find the scale factor. So we see this side is a corresponding side of this. So let's see, we're moving from shape A on to B. So the size of this side of the shape would be, we can say 1 unit. And the size of here would be, we see 1, 2, 3 units. We count out each space is here, each point. So from here to here is 1, here to here is 2. So we see here is 3 units. So to find this scale factor, the scale factor is simply found by taking the length of the image, of one side of the image, and you divide it by the length of the other corresponding side of the image. So the scale factor here would be 3 divided by 1, which would be the same thing as 3. So we have all of the important details. We have that it's an enlargement. It happened about the origin. and with a scale factor of 3. So to describe this transformation, we will say shape A undergoes an enlargement about the origin with a scale factor of 3 onto shape B. And that is how we describe that transformation. We start off with the object, so we say shape A undergoes, and we state the type of transformation. It undergoes an enlargement about the center of enlargement, in this case the origin, with a scale factor that we found to be 3 onto, and we put the image onto, in this case, shape B. And that's how we describe a transformation. That is an enlargement. So let's look at another one, another example to end off this video. So it says, if we are given a triangle LMN whose coordinates are 1, 4 and 2, 2 and 4, 3. We wish to perform an enlargement with a positive scale factor of 2 with center 1, 1. So you see the center of enlargement here is 1, 1, and we want to perform an enlargement. So first of all, let's identify the center of enlargement. So the center of enlargement will be right here. So we want to expand each side of the shape. So this is what we do, as simple as this. So we think about what can we do to move from the center of enlargement to this point L. So we see we go 0 times across. So for L, we go 0 times across and we go 1, 2, 3 times up. So 3 times up. So it has this shape has a scale factor of 2. So to find the new coordinate for point L, it would be 2 multiplied by this, which is 0, 3. So 2 multiplied by 0, 3 would simply give me 0, 6. So the image of L would we go 0 times across and 6 times up. Because of the scale factor of 2, we just multiply by 2. So we go 0 times across and we go 6 times up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here would be the new image of L. And then we do the same thing for M. So we see for M, the coordinate would be, we go 1 time across from the center of enlargement. So this would be 1. And then we go 1 times up. So this is 1, 1. And because it's a scale factor of 2, we must multiply this by 2. So 2 multiplied by 1, 1 would give us the vector, the transformation vector, or the point. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 2. So it's 2, 2. So instead of going 1 time across and 1 time up, we go 2 times across, 1, 2, and then we go 2 times up, 1, 2. And here would be the new point of M prime. And then we do the same thing for N. We find the image of N, so we see N from the center of enlargement. We go 1, 2, 3 times across. So we go 3 times across and we go 1, 2 times up. So because it's a scale factor of 2, we multiply 2 by 3, 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4, so it's 6, 4. So we go from the center, we go 6 times across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we go 4 times up, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here would be the new point of N prime. And then to finish this off, we just connect the points to get the enlarged shape. And that is the new shape under an enlargement with a scale factor of 2 with center 1, 1. And of course, I must leave one for you to try on your own. So this one says triangle ABC has coordinates A being 3, 0, B being -1, 4, and C being 1, 6, respectively. Triangle ABC is mapped onto triangle A prime, B prime, and C prime by enlargement with center O, which is the origin, and a scale factor where K is equal to 2. We know K represents a scale factor. Determine the coordinates of A prime, B prime, C prime. State the ratio of area of the image to the area of the object. So you need to calculate the area there, and we know how to calculate the area of a triangle, half base times height. So to recap, when dealing with an enlargement, there are some key things we must have in place. 1, the scale factor, and 2, the center of enlargement. And then to perform an enlargement, we just locate the center of enlargement, and then we create a vector that takes us from the center of enlargement to each point. And then we just multiply that vector by the center of enlargement, and that would give us the image of that point, and repeat that throughout the entire shape. So with that, this has brought me to the end of this video. I trust that you now have a clear understanding of enlargement, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.